Hello and welcome to RetrOTT. I am your host, Angus McAnally, and joining me is none other than our OTT World Champion, Mr. Jordan Devlin. Jordan, thank you so much for coming in.
No problem, Angus.
We are looking back on iconic matches from people's careers here in OTT, and one that still stands out very vividly in my memory is a match that happened right in the middle of 2016, if I'm not wrong, in the famous Tivoli Theatre.
Yeah, OTT A Matter of Pride. That was June 2016, so about 3 years ago now.
And your opponent on the night was a man who some people may have heard of. He goes by the name of Tyler Bate.
Yeah. Straight out of the cabin on Mustache Mountain.
Wow. This was Tyler's OTT debut.
Yes.
So there was a little bit of buzz around, and people who've been following stuff in the UK would have known who he was, but there was a section and a cohort of the OTT fans who had never encountered him before.
I'd say he was almost an unknown at that stage.
Yeah.
Like, the opinion of him in the UK was that he was this kid prodigy, like a little freak with massive hamstrings and quads, but
They're big legs.
At the time he wasn't as famous as obviously he is now.
Yeah. For you going into this match, you had been in a sequence of matches where you were opening the card every show. You were the first match each night.
Yep.
A little bit of a chip on your shoulder about that. And this was another opening match on another big card in the Tivoli. How did that play into it coming into the match?
Well, to begin with, I didn't really mind being an opening match because there wasn't a lot of pressure, you know. I had just come back from a year-long hiatus out at the end of 2015, so I think being in the opening match with no pressure kind of suited me for a little while. Up until that point, I'd kind of been treading water, you know. I had some wins, a loss, maybe a couple more wins, a loss, and I had been going to OTT management and saying, like, there's no Irish representation in the top half of the card.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready to start moving up the card. Can we look at doing something with me here and help me kick on a little bit and make me a little bit more interesting?
Well, this match with Tyler was unlike anything we had seen from you before. It was a technical masterclass. The two of you guys, I remember, because at the time I was a fan in the front row. I remember the air being sucked out of the Tivoli at the time, like people just in shock going, we haven't seen anything like this before. It was a technical masterclass.
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan of the old World of Sports style wrestling, and I knew, I've watched a couple of matches on Tyler before he came over just to see what he was like, and I saw him do one of these style of matches, so I knew he could do it very well, and I just thought, you know, give the fans something different, because normally you see these chain sequences right at the start of the match for the first 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden there's dives and running and all the bells and whistles. But I think the charm of a World of Sport match is still very much something that people want to see, and I think it might have been a bit of a brave move to try and do it in front of 400 drunk people at the Tivoli. They could have easily booed us out the building, but luckily enough they took it well.
Stylistically, how do you feel you matched up with Tyler? Do you feel like you guys work well together?
I think we work better now than we did then,
right.
But I think that's just reps and minutes together in the ring. Obviously, one of the things that you notice when you look back at that match is how crap the two of us look. I hope Tyler doesn't mind me saying that, but he's put on some mass since then, and you know, I'm still like massively out of shape and skinny and pale and stuff, but we wrestled a good match, but we both evolved since then. Yeah,
it was a phenomenal night. As I say, as a fan, I was there and I had an absolute ball. There were some interesting happenings and transgressions later on through the evening. What happened at the end of the match?
So this is the heel turn that started the import killer run. You know, it started my catapulted me into the main event scene. This was the hook that I wanted to make me more interesting and give my character a bit of depth and make the fans care a little bit more about me, rather than just opening the show and being an afterthought then after that.
So what had been quite a respectable match, and a handshake at the end. Exactly. And good old-fashioned sporting try. Yeah. Nice, honest match. Shake hands at the end. Only it wasn't so much of a shake hands at the end, was it?
Well, no. But up until that point, I'd been having these opening matches. Good guy versus good guy, and we'd try our best. And whoever won, we'd shake hands, and everyone would give us a round of applause. You know. But this time, we got the standing ovation. We were, doing the raise the arms. I pulled him in, hit him a big lariat across the throat and package pile drive him, and then proceeded to cut a scathing promo about how I was being misused and airing my grievances with OTT management.
So this is the birth of the heel turn, the birth of the import killer. It was also the start of the social elite, am I right?
Yeah, later on that night, yeah. I can't remember what the match was exactly, but I remember Big Damo, now Killian Dane, had Paul Tracy cornered in the ring, and I slid in and it gave Damo a very, very reckless chair shot to the back, which ended up with him needing a few stitches.
Yeah, you busted him open pretty good, didn't you?
He's got a big, sweaty back, so I hit him with the chair across the shoulders, and it slid up his massive big back and clapped him in the back of the head and opened him up pretty good.
Whilst we never like to see a man get his head opened up,
No, it was terrible.
it certainly added to this kind of new vicious vindictive streak we were seeing in the import killer, though.
Yeah. These kind of happy accidents happen in wrestling all the time. You know, it's obviously terrible that it happened, but it certainly poured fuel on the fire for the start of the social elite.
And as you look back on it now, that technical wizardry masterclass of a match, to see that as the spark that lit the fuse of the import killer run, which obviously led right the way through to very famous kind of rivalries that you've been involved in over the last year or so. How do you feel that match set you up for that run?
Very well. I like to watch old matches back to kind of remind myself how far I've come. And when I see how much I've changed and how much Tyler's changed and how much our styles have evolved since then, it's a good little reminder that the hard work we've been putting in for the last few years has brought us this far.
Well then, let's go back to the world famous Tivoli Theatre for one of the most iconic matches, I think, in OTT history. Here it is, the debuting Tyler Bate taking on the man who's about to become the import killer, Mr. Jordan Devlin.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing the competitors. To the ring from Devlin, England, this is Tyler Bate. just can't wait. I am sick up to my back teeth of these egotistical, chunked up UK independent wrestlers and these overpaid, arrogant Americans coming into OTT and walking into the main event when the best wrestler you have on your roster is rotting in the lower card. Plan for me was just have match of the night every month, win you people over, and wait for OTT management to take notice. Well, that just isn't happening quick enough. Fuck you. So plan B is this. I'm just gonna start hurting people. I'm gonna hurt every man they put in front of me till there's no one left but the OTT heavyweight champion. Let this serve notice to the rest of the boys in the back. You come to Tivoli next show, you see your name on the run sheet next to mine. You go to Jerry Humperdinck, get down on your knees and beg him for a different opponent. You better beg him for a different match. Maybe you should beg him to be in the lower card, because that's the last place you're going to see during Devlin from now on.
If you want to see more episodes of RetrOTT, you can check us out at ottondemand.com or via our apps available for iOS and Android.